Fire Emblem Engage is the 17th mainline title of the Fire Emblem series, and the second on the Nintendo Switch, following Three Houses. Being released on January 20th, 2023, it was released 2 years ago. I wasn't expecting to make this video on the second anniversary, but here we are. Well, technically, I'm doing this on the 23rd, so spare 3 days. But bear with me, this is coming out now because I could not contain my rage, and now I must thrust it upon the world, and you must bear witness. The Fire Emblem series at large is a series of turn-based strategy role-playing games, which are mainly medieval fantasy themed. Since I'm not going to be saying turn-based strategy role-playing game each time, I'm going to be calling it anime chess, because that's pretty much what Fire Emblem is. Fire Emblem Engage is a very different beast from the rest of the Fire Emblem titles. The main issue I have with it is the plot doesn't seem to take itself seriously. Well, it takes itself seriously, but it's presented in such a way that the player either struggles to take it seriously or can't take it seriously. The player being me, considering this is a subjective review, though obviously this is the untoppable word of law, and this is the only opinion that's allowed to exist ever. But anyway, Fire Emblem Engage's opening theme. The opening movies for Fire Emblem games usually, well, they usually take themselves more seriously, that's for one. Engage's opening movie is different in the fact that it seems structured more like an anime opening or a cartoon opening, which isn't bad, it's just different, it doesn't line up with the rest of the FE series, so it definitely threw me for a loop. And of course, since that's not really my speed, I kind of just cringed at it. Which isn't really a fault of the game, it's mainly that my taste doesn't line up with it. But I thought I'd mention it just for slander's sake. Going to the main title screen, it's just a circular panorama of the ring chamber, which we'll get into later, with statues of each emblem. Emblems are pretty much past Fire Emblem characters contained in rings. This doesn't look familiar, I don't know what you're talking about. There's music on the title screen, however it's so repetitive you think it's a 10-second loop. It really sounds like a 10-second loop. I really had trouble finding how long the song was without looking it up. Also, it's not the time-honored Fire Emblem theme. The other FE games either have a rearranged version of it or something that fits the game better. For example, Three Houses has the thematically fitting church organ Fire Emblem arrangement, or Fate's Lost and Thoughts All Alone. Alright, anyway. The first cutscene begins featuring Alear running through a castle while the rest of our colorful cast passed away fodder like it's Wii Sports Resort table tennis. Also, all the budget went to these pre-rendered cutscenes, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Alear and Emblem Marth reach a door and enter together. The tutorial has you learn to control units, attack, and hit the gimmick button, engaging. Engaging pretty much lets an emblem and a player character fuse together to gain a plenitude of extra abilities and stats. It's the main gimmick of the game. It's pretty much just nostalgia bait of going, ooh, look, characters from better Fire Emblem titles. You want to play the rest of the series? I feel like this is more of a play towards getting new players interested in Fire Emblem. But since I'm going the opposite way down the river, it just feels like nostalgia bait. If I wanted to play a game with Celica in it, I'd play Shadows Valentia instead, because there she's an actual character and not a nostalgia device. And I see you typing in the comments about Shadows of Valentia, Timmy. Its writing is good, you just weren't paying attention. Fire Emblem Engage starts the player waking up to two ankle biters frothing at the mouth as Pepsi Man rises from his slumber on the Somniel. These two are Clan, the childish yet hardworking twin, and Fram, the we have Amy Rose at home of video game characters. Vander are no-nonsense knight who will fall off by Chapter 4, tries to keep them in line, but not to much success, because Pepsi Man is effectively Dragon Jesus. Dragon Jesus has amnesia. Hooray, it's almost like a better Avatar character already did this one 10 years ago or something. Robin. Holy shit. Oh man, I had something in my throat. Dragon Jesus and his new apostles go to Lethos Castle to meet Dragon Jesus' mom, Lumera. Yeah, I forgot her name. Doesn't matter, to be honest. Along the way, the crew gets jumped by comedically athletic undead, and you fight them off, with Pepsi Man realizing the power of his stand, Star Platinum, his Marth Platinum, Emblem Marth. Pepsi Man gets saved from getting raffle stomped by one of the corrupted? That's what they're called. By Lumera, who turns into a dragon. This is one of the few times she will actually do this. You know, the game which your main character is a divine fucking dragon. You can't transform. The game takes a little break to give you a lore dump on the continent of Elios. I put continent in quotation marks because it's not a continent, it's an archipelago at best. Imagine a target, but the white part is all water, the big circle is the 4 human countries, the smaller circle is Granlon, the evil one, and Lethos is the dot in the middle, the not evil one. Effectively, 1,000 years earlier, before the plot, the Fell Dragon waged war against everyone, the guy who lives in Gradlon. Medius did it first and almost succeeded. The protagonist called upon the power of other main characters who've already Chris Browned their own dragons to help Elios beat up theirs. These heroes are known as emblems and inhabit rings. They're like Sakumogami, but instead of being from a good franchise like Toho Project, they're a collectible plot device in a Fire Emblem game. Wait a minute. The Fire Emblem theme is here? In this cutscene and nowhere else? It's a minute long, man. The franchise is 33 years old now. You're baiting us with fucking Marth Platinum, then give us the full nostalgia package. In Chapter 2, Lumera gives Pepsi Man an MTV house tour, and explains that the corrupted are effectively zombies brought forth by the Fell Dragon. Lumera also shows off her main character collection, introducing the Ring Vault, where a few emblem rings are stored. She also clarifies that there are 12 stands and rings in total. Familiar. The game starts with characters battling a Dark Lord of Swords, and rings are a major plot point.
Emblems grant world-altering power to whoever has all 12 rings.
Doesn't sound familiar. After talking to and training with Lumera, she gives you this dinky little sword with a French name. Granted, it's pretty good when forged, but that means I'll have to invest some of my precious gold into it, which this game gives less of than a minimum wage employee. She also gives you a regular, non-emblem ring. To put the game, Lumera says,
I said I'd give you a birthday present that suited you perfectly. I was working on it in private, but I was unable to finish it in time.
And I thought Clan and Fram were gonna be the annoying ones. Dialogue like this just makes me roll my eyes and wanna die.
Time to die.
Chapter 3. Back to the plot. Some mysterious army breaks into what is effectively the holy land of this world, and some hooded woman gives Lumera the Fire Emblem pain treatment. She dies, Alir cries about it, and wait a minute. Okay, Lumera, the divine dragon monarch, got one chapter in which to exposit and bond with her child, just to die for the hell of it. The chapter after she was introduced. She also spends 4 paragraphs talking to Pepsi Man before talking, so the whole "oh, I'm dying" is less shocking and more "can you die faster so I can play?" Because the player gets no time to bond with this woman, considering she's alive for a tutorial chapter. Why was that so long? People have even put the game on auto-advanced dialogue, and the woman takes so long to croak that the switch light dims in preparation to enter sleep mode. Hell, it took so long that I beat half a Toho game in the time it took for this woman to croak. Well, anyway, for now, that's going to do it for today. And I will continue the rest of this at a later time. Actually, anyone want to talk about how the first 3 levels are an hour and 15 minutes and 90% of that is the cutscenes? Someone send help.